Have you guys ever met somebody that is just so sociable? Like they have so many contacts, they get invited to every event, they just have so much going on socially. There are certain secrets and strategies that socialites know about social climbing that most people don't know. There are strategies on how to navigate social dynamics and cultivate relationships that I want to share with you today. With that being said, hi Bella Beauties, welcome back to my channel. This is the fifth episode of the Power Game series, and in this episode, we will focus on how to own the room, how to be sociable within social settings. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I've realized in some of the comments of my videos that a lot of you guys have given up on being sociable and going out into the world. I understand that some of you guys have been through a lot of trauma and betrayal from other people. So you are guarded. I understand that. Been there, done that. But here's the thing, guys. You need social interaction in your life. Like even the most introverted introvert still needs social interaction. The consequence for somebody being isolated and lonely is astronomical on the human brain, okay? Over time, you will start to notice a cognitive decline in your brain, especially in the prefrontal cortex. You will notice poor working memory and acute memory loss. You will notice poor decision making on your part and poor emotional regulation because of the impact on your amygdala. Okay, so your brain can actually shrink from loneliness and isolation. Not to mention, when you do get into social settings, you will be kind of awkward. You will have social anxiety, right? You might be paranoid, maybe even a little bit panicky. You might not pick up on the social cues as much as you used to before. So you guys know how incels like isolate themselves and they become like worse over time because they lack the social experiences and interactions that are crucial for developing and maintaining their social skills. So as a result, like their ability to navigate social settings declines. So it becomes like a cycle where their isolation deepens, their worldview kind of becomes more distorted, and their social anxiety and paranoia intensifies. So that's why it's still important to be sociable. I do not want you guys to become like that, okay? You just have to learn how to do it right. So, how do we do it? So, firstly, we need to cultivate a social presence. What do I mean by that? Remember in the first episode of the Power Game series, I told you guys that you should curate your mask. If you didn't know, guys, in every social situation, especially with big social events, it's the performance. It's not real. It's a stage, okay? Most people are not showing you the real them. They have a mask on, okay? And the mask is the version of themselves that they present to the world, okay? It is surface level things about yourself that you are okay with sharing with people that are not in your safety net, things that do well in conversations. Okay, so it's not your deep dark secrets, it's not your traumas, it's not who you hate and who you beefing with. So it's something like I went to this school, like I do this hobby, I'm in this industry. Yeah, I went on this fun trip. Like surface level positive things about yourself. That is your mask. Okay. So if you don't have a mask, create one. Write it down in the Glow Getter Guide. If you guys don't know, I created the Glow Getter Guidebook for you to be ready for social situations. In the book, there are pages for you to curate your mask and write down things that you are okay with sharing with people in social situations. So you want to be strategic with your image. What is your brand? Who are you? How do you want to be perceived? Um, how you want to be perceived is how you should act. Okay. If you don't want people to perceive you as ghetto, then don't cuss up a storm everywhere. Okay. Act like how you want to be perceived. What will people introduce you as when they're introducing you to new people? You can work on this on the Who I Want to Be chapter of the Glow Getter Guide. Be strategic with your image. Okay. I mean, think about it. Celebrities have publicists that literally curate their public perception. Act like the publicist of your own life. Control your image. Okay. All right, and then we're going to set our intentions. Okay, so before you even get to the event, set your intentions. What are you trying to achieve out of this event? Is it to make more friends, make more industry connections, social climbing, or just to make new friends? Like, what's the goal? The goal is what's going to guide your behavior at this event. You also want to look at the long term goals and short term goals in the Glow Getter Guidebook. What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years? That's usually the motivation for doing these social events in the first place. So you want to write that down and act accordingly. After that, we are going to cultivate confidence and charisma. When you enter a social space, you need to look confident. Even if you're not, you have to fake it to make it, okay? Head held high. You're not burying your head in your phone to avoid eye contact with people, okay? It makes you look insecure when you do that. Make sure you're not hunching over. If you don't know what to do with your hands, like stand with like one hip out and bend your hands like in a V shape in front of you. If you have a clutch, it should be easy. Shoulders back a bit. Okay, it makes you seem more relaxed and confident and approachable. Look around gracefully to see where you're going and walk with intention. Like walk like you are somebody that you are meant to be there. Okay, if you act like you're meant to be there, they will treat you like you're meant to be there. Okay, you also want to dress the part for the event. Okay, if you dress like you belong there and your attitude says you belong there, they will treat you like you belong there. Okay, if you go in all shy and awkward and insecure, they're going to sniff you out very quickly. So act like you're somebody because I promise you, they are not better than you. Okay. That's your insecurity talking. When you get there, do not isolate yourself. The first few minutes when you get to a social event is very crucial. Okay. Do not isolate yourself and be in a corner by yourself. The more awkward and uncomfortable you look, the more people will not want to talk to you because you will make them feel awkward and uncomfortable because you are awkward and uncomfortable. So when you get there, be open, okay? Introduce yourself and start a conversation. The more sociable you look, the more people will want to socialize with you, okay? And the more awkward you look, the more people will not want to be will not want to socialize with you because you will make them feel awkward too. All right, so the next step is to master the art of small talk. A lot of people hate small talk, especially if you're introverted. And I used to hate small talk too, but I understand why small talk is important now. Okay. So when you are in a social environment, you need to learn how to work the room. Based on the goal that you are trying to achieve, scan the room. Take a moment to observe the dynamics of the room. Notice who seems approachable, who is leading conversations, and where you might naturally fit in. Okay. This will help you to decide who to approach and how to start a conversation. And for my people pleasers and codependents and highly empathetic people out there, this is not the time to spot the person that's awkward and quiet and sitting in a corner by themselves, not knowing how to socialize. This is not the time to go talk to that person and try to save them. Okay, I know if you have all these traits, it's very easy for you to step in that savior servitude role. Please stop doing that, especially when you're trying to achieve something in social settings. Okay, this is not the time for you to save them. If they can't socialize, that's something internally that they have to work on. That is not your problem, especially in that setting. Okay. So if you are highly empathetic, if you're codependent, or if you're a people pleaser, this is not the time to save people. Okay. This is about yourself. So make sure you try to talk to the people that are sociable, that are talking, that are leading conversations. Okay. um, you want to try your best to chat with multiple people. Okay, well, at least people that are willing to talk to you. You want to seem open but not too eager. Okay, but being too eager can come off as desperate. So just smile warmly, give them a compliment, like, "Oh my God, I love your dress. I have something similar in pink." Then they will respond accordingly, and this is a great way to break the ice and establish a connection. So once the conversation is flowing, make sure that you listen actively. Make sure that you are allowing them to talk more than you are. People love to talk about themselves. The more they talk to you, the closer they feel to you, especially if this is somebody that is higher on the social hierarchy or the social ladder. You want to allow them to talk more. Make them feel like they're teaching you something. Make them feel like, you have a lot to learn from them, and make them feel important, but not like in a ass kissing kind of way. More of like a demure, like, wow, yes, yeah. It makes them feel important. Okay, listen actively, listen more than you talk. Because if you get in the talking role and you yap a lot, sometimes you might be yapping about things that are not important, or that, or sometimes Sometimes when you yap too much, you might actually end up sounding dumb. So just like listen more than you talk, okay? As they talk, try to show genuine interest in what they're saying, okay? Like use subtle body language cues, like nod a bit, maintain eye contact with them to make them feel like you're really listening to them and paying attention to them. Use their names, like drop their names a bit, like here and there when you speak to them. So it will make them feel like, oh wow, she really remembered my name. So like she actually gives an F. Okay. So try to find common ground or shared interests. If you're new to the environment and she knows more people in there, once they talk to you and they like you, naturally they will introduce you to the other people that they know, and you want to do the same thing with the rest of the people that she introduces to you. Okay. You also want to mirror people when you talk to them. If somebody is pretty chill when you're talking to them, then be chill. Okay. If their voice is way down here and your voice is way up here, the chemistry is off. So you have to match their energy. You have to curate yourself to whoever you are conversing with. And I know somebody's probably listening to this and saying, like, oh, but that's fake. That's not me. That's not real. Be yourself, be authentic. Let me tell you guys something. Most social situations are not real. Okay, it's a stage, it's a performance. They are not authentic, especially in a work setting, in a corporate setting. Most people are fake. Okay, they have a mask on. The reason you keep losing in these social settings is because you don't want to accept that fact. Okay, you are attending a masquerade with your real face, and that's the problem. Learn to play the game, or you're going to lose every single time. Okay. Your real self is for your safety net people. You also need to know when to move on. Okay. If you sense that a conversation is winding down, or that person that you're speaking with wants to mingle with other people, don't be afraid to politely exit the conversation. Like you might say something like, it was great talking to you, Alyssa. Okay. Dropped your name. Okay. I see somebody over there that I know, but let's catch up later, okay? And do not monopolize people's time, okay? Do not let them monopolize your time. What a lot of people do is they find somebody, like one person that they had a good conversation with, and just cling on to them the whole night. Wrong move. Okay. You need to mingle with other people as well. Do not let them get too used to you. If you came to the event with a friend of yours, do not cling on to each other, follow each other around the whole time. Okay. It makes it seem like you're not confident enough to stand on your own, like you're not a person on your own. Like you are a follower. When you want to collect your contact or phone number, you can lead with the conversation that you guys are currently having. So, for example, like, yes, I have a couple of those that came in this week. Like, I would love to show them to you and get your feedback. Do you mind giving me your number? Yeah, because I would love your expertise. Something along those lines. Okay. What you don't want to do is look like you really don't care about the conversation and you're just here to social climb. Just don't look like you're thirsty to just like social climb. Okay. Now I want to move on to social taboos that you might be committing that you don't know that you are, and that's what's keeping you from a thriving social life. So number one is inappropriate or offensive humor. Sometimes you might feel awkward or uncomfortable, and you want to crack a joke to ease the tension. Jokes are fine, but you have to make sure that you are not making a joke at the expense of the person you're talking to or at your own expense. Okay. When you constantly make self-deprecating jokes, you are lowering your value in front of these people's eyes, and they will feel more comfortable disrespecting you because you disrespect yourself. So naturally, you are knocking yourself down the social ladder. Okay, if you make a joke at their expense, you might offend the wrong person. Okay, if this person is well connected, you might be exiled from the circle, or you won't be able to climb to that social ladder because your reputation will be soiled. Okay, so do not offend the wrong person. Instead, you want to make a light joke about a separate thing. So not about yourself or anybody in that environment, but like about a thing or a situation. So, for example, let's say either you or the person you're talking to mispronounced a fancy word on the menu or something. Instead of saying, like, I'm so dumb, lol, or girl, you're slow, like, say something like, child, these food names are so fancy, it should come with an interpreter. Like, it's too cool for us. Like, something along those lines. It's not about you or that person, it's about that thing, if that makes sense. and make sure the joke is tasteful. Like, don't make like crass jokes. Some crass jokes, like some jokes, are just not meant for certain social situations. Like I said, you can't be yourself everywhere. Okay. All right. Number two, talking about sensitive topics. Okay, there is a time and place for sensitive topics, and it's usually not in most social settings. Nobody needs to know about your political stance on certain issues. Nobody needs to know about your social justice warrior stuff unless that's the environment that it calls for. Talking about political issues or sensitive topics can be a big turnoff to people in most social situations. Like, they don't need to know your stance on everything. Keep that to yourself, because if they are smart, they will just agree with you and still keep their beliefs to themselves because they know the game. There are just certain things that you don't talk about in social settings, okay? It turns people off. Speaking of sensitive topics, do not talk about money. Like, do not talk about how much you make or ask people how much they make, or say something like, "Oh, you got money," or something like that. Depending on the environment that you're in, it can turn people off. Do not try to show people how much you make. If you really want to do that, you can do that by the outfits you wear. I don't know, but don't talk about it just out there like that. You can, if you make a lot of money, it can seem like you're just bragging. And if you don't make a lot of money, you can seem desperate. If you don't make a lot of money, it can seem like you're begging or something, like, or you're just looking to be around people with money. So don't talk about money in that sense at all. If you can, don't talk about money at all, unless it's like maybe a finance thing. I don't know. But generally, do not talk about money. Do not ask people how much they make. Do not tell people how much you make. Don't do that. And also, do not talk about you wanting to find a rich man or something like that. Keep that to yourself, okay? Keep that as a secret to yourself. The next social taboo is overstepping boundaries. If you grew up with your parents not respecting your own boundaries, you probably think overstepping people's boundaries are a way to be closer to them. Like, you want to be familiar with people way too fast. You want to build a bond very quickly, and you think you can do that by overstepping people's boundaries. No, that is a social taboo. Okay, do not touch people unless they're okay with it. Like, don't slap somebody's shoulder because you're laughing. And I mean, like, in a social situation with people that that are not really like your friends like that. If that's the relationship you have with your best friend or close friends, then fine. But when it comes to other people, you don't do things like that. They don't know you. Do not stand too close to people. Don't lean over people. Don't touch people's things without their permissions. Like, stop trying to be overly familiar with people too fast. Like, it just it can turn people off from you. Okay. Also, don't pry into people's business. Like, avoid asking overly personal or invasive questions. Respect other people's privacy. If somebody doesn't want to talk about private matters about themselves, then they don't have to. Like, don't try to overstep their boundaries, okay? It's not going to make you feel closer to them. This is a social event. It's not your best friend. It's not your close friend. Right? Number four, interrupting and talking over others, okay? Allow other people to finish speaking before you respond. Interrupting or talking over someone is seen as disrespectful and can make you seem self centered. Also, the more you talk and blab on, the more nonsensible things you might say. So it's okay to allow people to talk and finish what they're saying before you speak, okay? And think about what you're going to say before you say it, because the more you talk and you're, spilling and spilling and spilling, like, people might like start to lose respect for you because what you're saying might reveal something about yourself that's not pleasant, or you just might start saying dumb things. So stop interrupting people and talking over other people, and blabbing on. Okay. Right, number five, gossiping or speaking ill of other people. If you have a tendency to gossip about other people, people know not to trust you with anything. People will see you as untrustworthy or two-faced. So it's best not to gossip about other people, because you don't know who knows who. Okay. The person you are gossiping to might actually really like the person that you are gossiping about. Before you know it, everybody knows you've been talking ish. Now you are the villain, and you will be isolated from the social scene. So be mindful, okay? These people are not your friends. This is a game. This is a game, okay? Play to win. If they want to bring you the gossip, bring you the tea, then gladly listen to it. Because I know people say don't hang out with people that gossip. Don't really hang out with them, but I don't think you should really cut gossipers out of your life entirely, because they are the people that keep your ear to the streets, okay? They are the people that let you know what's going on around you. So if they bring you the tea, listen to it. Just take mental notes of it, but don't indulge in it. Like, don't be talking ish to, like, don't be doing all of that. Just listen, so that you are aware of what's going on, but you are not like being malicious too. Okay. And remember, if they are gossiping about other people, they might gossip about you too. But remember, we curated our mask, right? We only share things that we're okay with sharing with people. So if they gossip about you, they will only know things about you that you're okay with them knowing about you. So that's cool. Okay. That's just a game. All right, number 6 is oversharing personal information. So sharing too much personal information can make other people uncomfortable around you. Like, keep conversations appropriate for the context of the social setting. Okay, you guys need to learn the art of conversation. You can chat all day without revealing private information about yourself that other people shouldn't really know. So no trauma dumping. People don't care to know. That's too much emotional labor to put on people. If the only thing you can talk about ever is your trauma to other people, then respectfully, you need therapy. Like, you need healing, and you need to find a hobby or something about yourself that you can share with people that won't traumatize them. Okay, so stop oversharing. Number 7 is crass behavior. This is self-explanatory, but when you are in social settings, do not be crass unless like the environment calls for it. You can't be yourself everywhere. Cussing up a storm, twerking, burping, yelling, fighting. You can't do that everywhere. That doesn't even make you real or authentic. That just makes people respect you less. Okay, that's a social taboo. So if you do these things, find the social setting that requires you to be like that. Don't go into elegant places and do things like that. Okay. Moving on from social taboos, we are moving on to how to hone your power in social circles. So, how to actually gain some power and keep it. Okay. So, number 1, do not be the first to arrive and the last to leave the event. Okay. So, I'm not talking about a date with your friend or close friends. I'm talking about social events. I'm not saying arrive very late, but don't be one of the first few people there, okay? And don't stay too long at the event that you become one of the last few people there, or like you close the event. That's a no-no, okay? Doing that can come off as too eager and too desperate. When you arrive later, you create a sense of anticipation. People notice your entrance, and it positions you as someone who values their time and is in demand. Okay. So by not lingering too long, you leave before your presence becomes too mundane. So you maintain that aura of mystery and exclusivity around you. Staying too long can lead to overexposure, which can diminish your impact. Okay. Leaving while the energy is still high ensures that people remember you at your best. Okay. So when you stay for too long, you've had too many drinks, you stop blabbing on, sharing things that you shouldn't have, and people just respect you less when you start blabbing on about things that you shouldn't share. So people will remember you at your best when you leave when the energy is still high, not when you're tired or disengaged. Okay. When you leave earlier, people are more likely to remember your last word or actions. This can be a powerful tool in influencing how they perceive you long after the event is over. Okay. So they have a good image of you. When people see that you're not always readily available, they value your presence more. Okay. Arriving later and leaving earlier reinforces the idea that your time is precious. Okay. It makes your participation in social events feel like a privilege. Other people will start to look forward to your arrival and take notice when you leave. Okay. This creates a dynamic where your presence is both anticipated and missed. Okay. Which can significantly increase your influence within the social circle. And for my people pleasers and codependents and highly empathetic people, do not, be the one to stay, last at the event and try to help them clean up and stuff. No, you're putting yourself in a servitude role as a people pleaser, and people will not respect you for that. All right, number 2, be a free agent. That means maintain your independence. Avoid aligning too closely with any one group or any one individual, especially if you are highly empathetic. A lot of the time, people will tell you their sob stories and what other people did to them and blah, blah, blah. If you are highly empathetic, then you will probably align yourself with that person because you feel their pain and you want to be there for them. Their enemies become your enemies. Then later down the line, she will mistreat you, and then you will realize why nobody else liked her. Then it's too late because you align yourself with her and only her. Wrong move on your part. Okay, you need to keep your independence because at the end of the day, none of these people are your friends. Okay, so by staying independent, you retain flexibility and avoid being dragged into conflicts or obligations that may compromise your position. Okay, so this is not the time to befriend the outcast. Okay, sometimes when people are outcasts, they're outcasts for a reason. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes it's because it's for a reason. Okay, so and being a free agent means you can move seamlessly between different circles, different social circles, and leverage diverse opportunities without being constrained by one rigid alliance. Okay. Get to know different people in different circles. Don't constrain yourself to anybody but yourself. Okay. You should come first to you. Number three, be neutral in war and conflict. That means avoid taking sides in beefs. Okay. And I know somebody with a high moral compass is going to say, that's not true. You should be on the side of this and that and that. No. Okay. In disputes or conflicts within social circles, remain neutral. By not taking sides, you avoid alienating potential allies and keep your position flexible. And this allows you to navigate the situation without becoming a target yourself. Okay. Do not adopt people's beefs. Do not hop in people's beefs. I know it's tempting if you're like a highly empathetic person with a high moral compass, but that is not your problem. Okay. You are a free agent because if you choose sides and do the most talking ish about the other party on behalf of your friend, quote unquote, and they decide to end the beef and become cool again, you will end up looking dumb and they might stop hanging out with you. You will become the villain. So you might end up losing both relationships in your network. So stay out of people's beefs, okay? That's not your problem. Okay, number four, curate your importance. Okay, so that means make yourself seem indispensable by highlighting your unique skills, knowledge, or connections. People are drawn to those who are seen as valuable and essential. Those who do have value and are essential do have more influence and control in social settings. Okay, remember you are building a network. Okay, you want valuable people in your network. So what are you providing? What value do you provide? Okay, why should you be in my network? What value do I gain from you? Okay. You need to make yourself indispensable. What is your role in the social hierarchy? Can they do without you? Are you the one that has contacts? The one who knows people that knows people? Are you the one that has access to the VIP parties? What role do you play? Are you the personality in the group? You have to make yourself important. Okay. If you don't think you are valuable in networking, then you need to start building yourself up. Okay. What do you have that people need from you? Okay. That's what makes you valuable in a network. When you are networking, you can't be somebody that nobody has use for. No shade. All right. Number six is leverage social dynamics. So observe the power structures that's currently at heart. Pay attention to the dynamics and hierarchies within your social circle. So understand who holds power and how it flows and allows you to align yourself strategically and influence outcomes effectively. The best way I can describe this is with an example. Do you guys watch the show Basketball Wives? Shawnee is the executive producer and also sometimes a cast member. Those who align themselves with her get more perks and holds a bit of power too. Okay, because as soon as they are able to get in her ear and say, "Hey, I don't like this person and I want her off the show," she will get them off the show. So thank you for your services. So do you see how they know who to align themselves with? The one at the top of the ladder. So form alliances with key figures who can support your goals. Okay, cultivate relationships with influential individuals who can amplify your power and help you to achieve your objectives. So study under the master until you can become the master. Okay. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one. Go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy the video. Share if you care. Go ahead and purchase the Glow Getter Guidebook on Amazon. The link will be available in the comments below. All right, Glow Getters, I will see you in the next video. Bye.